Hello, Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network listeners. I am Jeff Hawkins, co-host of Shake Them Ropes, with a very special announcement. If it's been a while or you've never listened to us before, the original gang is back. Myself and Rob McCarran, back talking wrestling. We have no idea where this show's going to go, where we're going to keep any of the old bits or any of the old things in there. It's going to be a process. It's going to be a journey, and we'd like for you to come along with us. Only on Shake Them Ropes on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Music of the Mat Remix on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network. I'm your host, Andrew Rich, joined today by a returning guest. He is a contributor at Voices of Wrestling. It's Kevin Hare. Hello again, Kevin.
Hey Andrew, how's it going? Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, good to have you back on here for sure. It's funny, the other two times that you've been on, it's been related to Jun Kasai in some way. Either talking about his theme songs, or he's been in the news because of some, big, crazy, prominent, bloody match. But as far as I'm aware, that's not the case here. We are Sans Kasai here, I guess, Kevin.
No, but still, when you see who we're talking about, I think that it's still in the same lineage, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure, yeah. Well, it's still a special occasion regardless, because this is actually the 50th episode of the remix format.
Oh,
The
beautiful.
Big 5-0. Yeah, which somehow doesn't feel possible. It feels like I just started doing this thing yesterday. But the numbers don't lie, as Scott Steiner once said. So, yeah.
Yeah, congrats on 50.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll trudge along to 51 and beyond. We'll see how far it goes. Anyway, today's episode, as you hinted at there, Kevin, I have a clip I'd like to play to introduce the topic. So check out this piece of audio business right here.
How's everything going?
I'm not going to be here, but...
Why aren't you?
Because I'm not booked.
You're not going to be here. Why aren't you going to be here? Please be here.
I'm not going to be here, Terry, because I'm not booked. That's an
I
old
want
rule.
you.
That's an
But I
old
want
rule
you
I've
to.
had for a long time. Because I'm not involved.
I want you to come, please.
Well,
I'm asking you to please come, all right?
I already have other arrangements, and
I want you
don't
to
take
come.
it personally, because I used to be in the dressing room and I used to see the old guys, and that's where I am now. I used to see the old
want
guys
you to
that
be
came in the
there.
dressing room that come around, and they looked like old dogs, just hoping somebody would recognize them. Here, Spot.
Then why don't you come and see us?
I really have to be involved, and I'm not.
I want you to be there.
And I did
want you to
ask
be
you
I
in
want you to be
April if I could referee some matches on the card, which
You're
would have been
refereeing tonight, then.
which would have been
You're refereeing tonight.
but I'm not on the card. I'm not booked.
You want to referee me and Brett? Referee me and Brett.
I already have
want
other
you to referee
arrangements
us.
made, Terry.
I want you to referee me and Brett. I'm just telling
I guess
you, would love to
okay.
have you there.
So what happened? I
I'm
guess you
running
just
900 miles an hour
I guess
is
it
what
was
I'm
just
doing.
so far down. I guess you just didn't hear me or something when I asked you before.
I don't.
Or didn't
Dennis,
think about
I
it.
didn't
just
even know
think
about it. But I want you to. I want you to.
I appreciate that.
Okay, I want you to. Will
Okay.
you please do it?
Appreciate
That's my
that.
last match. It's my last match. Call me if you can, because I would love it.
Okay.
I would love it. I'd love to have you there as part of it.
I appreciate that, Terry.
I want you to be there.
I appreciate that.
Yes, a classic scene from the documentary Beyond the Mat with good old Dennis Stamp telling Terry Funk why he's not going to be at his retirement show. I'm not booked, Terry. And
It's not
that's
a funny scene, but it just makes me laugh.
I'll get into that right now. Yeah, that's the episode here. I'm not booked. I mean, in a movie filled with classic scenes, I mean, that might be the most enduring. It certainly became a meme. And rewatching it the other day, you're right. It's such a potent mix of humor and sadness because him jumping on the trampoline with the weights, that's a funny image, of course, and him going, because I'm not involved, it's a funny line. But it is also kind of sad that this guy, who you can tell so desperately wants to be there, he wants to be at the show, but he's got too much pride to directly ask Terry Funk, even when Terry tells him, I want you there, it's my last match, I want you there, man. He still goes, I already got plans, I'm not booked, and it's only until later on that Dennis actually says, okay, I'll be there, I'll be the referee for your match. It's not like the heaviest moment of the movie by far, but there's still just great character analysis to be had there, Kevin.
Yeah, especially too when you kind of get to it, when you realize that when Dennis Stamp is like, well, I asked you and I didn't even get through to you, and Terry was like, oh, I missed that. I mean, that's kind of like, it is kind of real, It's really easy to feel that type of stuff, and then Terry Funk, like, when he needs something, he comes, but then when Dennis needs something, he's like, oh, I didn't know, I missed it, sorry.
Mm-hmm. And the added bit of humor is, of course, Terry's going, it's my last match, It was not his last match, not by a long shot. He would have many, many more matches after that one. Several of them, quote-unquote, retirement matches.
And many before that, too.
Oh, yes. But that was Terry Funk, man. He loved wrestling so much. He just couldn't stay away until his body eventually, couldn't stand up to it anymore. And I think that same mentality was in his brother Dory Jr., who just died the other day. His last match was 2 years ago, a double hell current explosion death match. He was 83 years old at the time. And Dennis, too. In the movie, he says, I stay in shape, I eat well, because, I never know when my next booking is going to be. Even though he hadn't wrestled in years, he still had the itch. And if you're a dyed-in-the-wool pro wrestler, I don't think that itch ever fully goes away. It might dull a little bit, but it's always there. It's always lurking, Kevin.
Yes, and don't worry. I believe his wife was still there filming his last match on her iPhone, which she was doing every time.
Yeah. But speaking of things that aren't booked, our song choices today are also not booked, in a manner of speaking. We are playing songs that were not put out on a regular studio album. B-sides, bonus tracks, non-album singles. It's the songs that didn't get booked for the album tracklist. Now, they might show up on reissues later on, or deluxe editions, or compilation albums, or box sets, or things like that, but not on the original album tracklist itself. And just looking over my iTunes and doing some research for this, I'm reminded of how, there are some really amazing songs that never made the album. Silver Springs by Fleetwood Mac is a famous one. Paperback Writer by the Beatles. Yellow Ledbetter by Pearl Jam. It kind of boggles the mind as to why they didn't make the cut when some other songs, that maybe aren't as good, did. It's kind of interesting in that sense to think about, Kevin.
Yeah, for sure. And especially I come from the punk and hardcore world, so there's so much, especially like classic songs that are only on singles or only on EPs or splits or compilations or whatever, I didn't choose too many this time because I wanted to go a little easy on you, right? But like, still, just especially in the genre, I almost had to set a rule in my head, kind of like, all right, let's kind of keep it to true singles or true things, because so many of the bands that I like almost their iconic records are not full albums. They're just kind of EPs or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I tried to get a bit of a mix in terms of where I came from here. And as well, looking up artists and, trying to look through their discography, there are some artists who seemingly recorded just dozens of songs that don't come out until a box set or a compilation album. Bob Dylan has so many B-sides and outtakes and alternate versions of songs. They have to keep, put out albums for them. And then you have a band like Rush, where I think pretty much everything they did went on the album. There are no like Rush B-side compilations or giant rare box sets of outtakes. because there aren't songs to put on them. There's two different sides of that, I guess, Kevin.
Yeah, and aren't they doing like full Springsteen unreleased albums that are coming out too?
I think so. Yeah, I think there was like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, like
that were
just
in
not
the
even
vault.
just. I don't even think they're compilations. I think they're like full, like even like B-side or unreleased comps. They're like fully formed things. I think, which is great.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah. I mean, I'm busy enough as myself. I can't imagine, having the time to record all these extra songs, throughout the day. But
even just put everything into recording something and then just deciding, we're gonna scrap this whole thing. Like that's a different thing, which is kind of just crazy to think about. Of however much effort was put into it, and it's not good enough. We're not going to do it.
Yeah. Well, let's get to the music here. We have 10 songs each and a play-out song at the end. Kevin, you are the guest. You'll go first. What's your first pick?
So my first song is "Behind This Wall" by the band Turning Point. So I chose this song because Turning Point is they are a hardcore band, but they started kind of a little bit more faster, like more, I guess, stereotypical way you think of that. But this is one of the last things they wrote. It was on a split with a band called No Escape, and it's pretty melodic for a hardcore band. It's got like the clean guitar intro, which is a pretty iconic thing. The lyrics are pretty personal, pretty emotional, but as the song goes on, it picks up a lot, and it kind of culminates in him screaming like, "I'm writing these words from behind this wall," and it's just like, it's really this kind of anthemic song, but it's emotional and it's dark, and I think it's for a band they did a demo, an EP, an LP. And pretty much this split in some other songs. But this is, I think, their most iconic song. And it's just they put out one other song with it on a split. And then eventually it was on a discography. So people kind of know it there. But I think that this is a good example because, in my world, this is a big song. And also, like, within this band, it's the song that is the most recognizable. And it was just on a split.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I heard that soft acoustic opening, I was like, all right, this is nice. I like this. And then it's a trap. Things kick into high gear there. But seriously, though, I did not mind this one. It didn't go too crazy or screamo, which I appreciated. And I saw that this is one of those bands that influenced the emo scene that came later on. And looking at the lyrics, now sadness sickens my heart. And confusion, it blinds my sight. Alone, I feel so alone. Maybe I'll turn this feeling into a wall of stone. That lines up with emo for sure, Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, the other song on this split they did is called Thursday, and the band Thursday got their name from that song. Like, it's a one-to-one. That's where they got it from. So, you could definitely hear, I mean, the bands that the singer did afterwards were a little bit more 90s, like going towards emo and kind of post-rock and all that stuff. And you can kind of hear that there. And then, unfortunately, like about a decade later, he passed away pretty early. So it's just kind of like a lot of people have been influenced by them, both hardcore bands and like other style of music. And it's just, I think that this is a really good representation where you can kind of tell, a lot of hardcore stuff has been more, I don't want to say macho because that's a little unfair, although that's true. But, in this era, a lot of stuff was about scene politics or more personal choice of like I'm going to be straight edge or go vegan or vegetarian, whatever, all that type of stuff. And then this is a lot more inward, which is, you know, kind of a stark difference to some of that other stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I find that tends to be the way with a bunch of hardcore bands where they're only around for a few years before they break up or splinter off into other bands, but they can still carry a pretty big legacy.
Yeah,
regardless of that. So yeah,
for sure.
All right, my first pick. This is back from 1974. This is Faces, and this is a single. This is their last single actually before they broke up, and this song is called "You Can Make Me Dance, Sing, or Anything."
Something to you. Listen. Sometimes when I get out of my head and I say all the wrong things. Sometimes I know I stay out late at night and I get back fighting. Hey, baby. And somehow all my plans keep slipping through my hands and end up crying. Exciting. You can make me dance, you can make me sing, you can make me do just any old thing. And I love it. Sometimes I wanna get out the store and get away from here, girl.
So yeah, like I said, that's the last Faces single before they called it quits, and they went out with a damn good song. It's a real toe tapper, nice love song. It's kind of like a sweeter, more family-friendly version of Stay With Me, whereas that one is about a one-night stand with some Jezebel. This is about a loving relationship and a guy who's crazy about his girl. He'll do anything for her. I really like it a lot, and I didn't realize this until recently, but Ronnie Lane does not play bass on this song. He'd already left the band at this point. Instead, it's a Japanese guy named Tetsu Yamauchi. He was with them for the last year or two, and there was, I guess, this kind of a clash between him and the rest of the group because he was apparently this big party guy, and they were trying to cut back, and he also barely spoke English, so it was an odd partnership between them. But hey, we got a good song out of it at least, Kevin. So there you go.
Yeah, this is a blind spot because Faces is a band I would not be able to tell you that I know, but then you hear I listen to some of the songs, I'm like, oh yeah, I know that song and I know that song. But like, if you had asked me if I know what Faces is, I'd be like, no, I've never heard of that before. And then you look and there's like 300 million plays and it's a song that has been in every commercial and that everybody knows. So I thought that this was a pretty good song. I don't think I had ever heard it before. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have that much else to say other than it sounds kind of like a song that would be in a commercial like some of their other songs.
Well, a fun fact about this song, and I'm pretty sure this is still the case, this is the longest titled song that was a hit in the UK because the full title of the song, including parentheses, is "You Can Make Me Dance, Sing, or Anything, even take the dog for a walk, mend a fuse, fold away the ironing board, or any other domestic shortcomings." That's the full title of the song, which, if that was the chorus, that'd be quite a mouthful, but thankfully it isn't, so...
And you're telling me they were trying not to party when that was easily a song that a song title they thought of while they were high as hell.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt if that was true, but all right, Kevin, what's your next pick?
My next pick is the song Teenage Kicks by the Undertones.
So hard to beat. Every time she walks down the street, another girl in the neighborhood. Wish she was mine, she looks so good. I wanna hold her tight. Yeah, teenage teenage kicks right through the night.
When I was going through and thinking of stuff for this, I was looking through and it took me a while to get to this song. And when I did, I was just like, how did I not think of this first? I mean, this might be the best example. This is one of the greatest songs of all time, in my opinion. Like the riff is just iconic. It's a catchy riff. Like it gets stuck in your head immediately. The lyrics are so good because they're so like innocent, but also a little not really innocent too. It's just being a teenager, being in love. And it's like such a simple song. It doesn't really change too much. It's just kind of verse, chorus with the riff. But it's just perfect in that kind of power pop, late 70s power pop lane. This was put out on a single. It's been on like versions of their first LP later, but it's not on it originally. And yeah, I think that this, to be honest, this is like the perfect song for an episode like this because it's, like I said, it's not just a good song, but I think it's one of the best songs ever written, ever.
Yeah, I hadn't heard this song in forever. I forgot how great it is. You mentioned, power pop. This is like one of the ultimate examples of pop punk as well, because it's heavy, it's loud, these big rock guitars, but yeah, there's also harmonies and hand claps, and it's really catchy, and it's about that girl in the neighborhood that you got a crush on, and you want to call her up and have her over and hold her tight. Like, it's a pop song topic with that punk edge to it, which, I mean, for a band that came around in Northern Ireland during the Troubles, you'd think they might be a lot more focused on that side of life and politics and struggles and all that, but apparently not. This was their wheelhouse, Kevin.
Yeah, I know that there's for sure like a bunch of different bands kind of in the scene that kind of sound similar from Ireland and Northern Ireland from this era, which I like. I think like the Rosellos and stuff too. But it's something, to be honest, I really need to dive deep someday and like listen to all the other stuff because like the Undertones are so good. This song is so good. The first few records are just, they're not just one hit wonder. They're one hit as far as like one song surpasses all the other ones for sure. But like the entire first record is great, and the second record is really good too. So, yeah, it's kind of just this kind of frivolous like optimism from a really like working class dark era and area, which is kind of an interesting juxtaposition.
Yeah, and I also saw that John Peel, the BBC radio DJ, this was like his favorite song ever. So he's in your camp with this one as well. Like the opening lyrics are on his gravestone even, and I laughed really hard when I read this on the song's Wikipedia page. To judge songs he had heard for the first time as to worthiness of airplay upon his show, Peel often rated new band songs with a series of asterisks, with each song judged upon a scale of 1 to 5 asterisks. Sounds familiar? Peel was so taken by Teenage Kicks, he awarded the song 28 stars. So to anyone out there who is mad at Dave Meltzer for breaking the star rating scale and going 6 stars or whatever, that is nothing compared to John Peel.
Yeah, 28 stars a lot. And he did famously play this twice in a row. He played it and he was just like, yeah, we got to listen to that again and put it on again.
Mm-hmm. All right, my next pick, this is from my boy, Steven Wilson, and it's a bonus track from the deluxe edition of his album The Future Bites, and the song is called Move Like a Fever.
Too tolerant am I? Good Samaritan am I? I move like a fever. Make you a believer. The American Idol.
Fear is rising, the future is biting. That's a song that I go back to often, even though it's not like the most exciting song in the world. It's rather minimal with the lyrics and the repeated synth melody there, but I love it. I just get wrapped up in the whole thing and how hypnotic it is, and this, oddly menacing and chilling tone. There's the ooh part, and talking about the American Idol is dead on arrival. Resign yourself. The choice you had is made now. Pick up yourself and face the future somehow. It's like a song for a futuristic dystopian dance club or something. And it's funny, I love The Future Bites. It's my favorite album of his, but I'm also kind of annoyed that it's a bonus track and it wasn't on the main album, because I'm like, it'll fit. There's room. Just smush it in there, But that's not my decision to make, apparently, Kevin.
Yeah, I like the song. I liked how hypnotic, like you said, it just kind of, it's easy to get kind of wrapped up in the beat, and then there's not necessarily twists and turns of the song, but because you're so kind of hypnotized by it, it feels like there's twists and turns and that there's different things happening when it's kind of just simple vocals and stuff. And I think that that's interesting. So I had never heard this one before, but I did like the song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a bunch of other bonus tracks on the album here, and extended remixes and all that good stuff, which is why I like these, deluxe edition albums, because you do get all these extra tracks. Some of them are just, demos or fluff or whatever, which you don't really care about, but you do get gems like these every once in a while with the bonus editions, which I do like. So
yeah, you're right, but the way that my mind works, and this is probably hurting me from like discovering stuff, is those bonus editions I kind of stay away from. I just like the original things as they were originally intended to be, even if they're not perfect. So I kind of just like, I stick with the full records and I don't explore the bonus stuff as much unless it's like a full already released somewhere else or something like that. But that's probably to my detriment in like missing out on some cool valid stuff. But my brain, everybody's got some fatal flaws, right?
I suppose. Well, I guess it might be easier if you're doing it, digitally, because if you're buying bonus editions of physical releases, there's only so much space you have in your apartment or whatever to fit all this stuff. So it's better to do it digitally, I guess. So, but
don't worry, that I will always make room for another record. I mean, that's my problem. Let's go buy some more.
Sure. All right, Kevin, what's your next pick there?
My next one, and I know I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, so please bear with me, is Acquiesce.
I'll help you.
Acquiesce by Oasis.
You got it.
I think already one of my great regrets in life is not going to the Oasis shows last year, because they just seemed unbelievable, and this seems like it would easily be the highlight. I mean, Oasis has a lot of anthemic songs. Probably the best songs are pretty anthemic, but I think that this is probably the best one, the most anthemic, the most hourly positive lyrics. Because we need each other, those lyrics, and we believe in one another. It's just so you have both brothers singing on the song, which doesn't happen as much, and it's It's so good. I think it really might be the best Oasis song, and it was originally the B side on one of the singles, and then they put it out on the Master Plan collection, and it was the single when they put that out. But that was like a few years after it already existed. So again, what we were saying, like sometimes the B sides can be like iconic songs for a band, and they were playing this. I think they played it second too in their set list, so it wasn't like they buried it. Like they came out strong. They knew that it was one of the songs they really had to highlight.
Yeah, I had actually not heard this one before, and I loved it. Which is funny because yeah, as you said, it's like this beloved song that they play at their shows, and I never knew. But that's the shackle of being a B-side. If you're not super in tune with the band, then there could be all these great songs that you just don't know about. But yeah, I can see why people love this song because it's very Oasis-y. It's very anthemic, as you said, and when Noel comes in for the chorus, because we need each other, that is, grade A sing-along material right there, Kevin, for sure. So.
Yeah, that's grab whoever's near you, arm in arm, and sing along, right? Like that's just the only reaction, really.
Mm-hmm. What's great though is even in a song like this, which is so positive and so bright, there is still that cynical Oasis reality behind it because yeah, it's Noel and Liam singing together. It's so nice. But Noel said this about why he sings in the song. Quote, Liam couldn't sing the chorus for some reason. I think he was drunk or something, but he couldn't get the high notes. So I decided to sing it. When the record came out, everyone was going, it's a song about Liam. And that I was saying that we need each other. We believe in one another, which was total fucking bullshit. It wasn't about that, because he was singing the verses, and I was singing the choruses. People were like, oh god, man, the two brothers are like sharing their love for each other, even though they hate each other. It's just like, wow, they're bonding on record. Ha ha. So we went along with that for ages, which, again, is very Oasis, Kevin.
Very, very Oasis.
All right, I'm going to pick a song. This song was made in 1992. It was during Tom Petty's sessions for his solo album Wildflowers, but it wasn't released until 2015 as a single, and then it was put on the Wildflowers re-release, Wildflowers and All the Rest, which had all the B-sides and bonus tracks on it and whatnot. This song is called Somewhere Under Heaven.
Afternoon thunderstorms, the sun shadows moving slow. She could smell the earth and sky, and off her mind would go somewhere under heaven in a field of sugar cane, a little Jenny that would dance in the rain.
I really miss that guy. Just a gorgeous song. I mean, between that Florida good old boy voice of his and the imagery of his lyrics and that repeating, melody and the ba-bum, ba-ba-da-ba-ba and the guitar, it transports me right into the song. Like I can close my eyes and I can picture, little Jenny dancing in the rain and in the field of sugarcane. There's a farmhouse in the distance or whatever. Like it's so crystal clear. And it's wild to me that a song this good was saved in the vault for 23 years before it came out. But I guess when you got, You Wreck Me and You Don't Know How It Feels and It's Good to Be King on the same album, maybe it gets overshadowed. Who knows, Kevin?
Yeah, this was a good song. It's kind of droney in like a good way. It just like you said, it transports you. Tom Petty is somebody that I like a good amount. Like I like a lot of the songs, but I don't dive into the albums too much, which is something I probably need to do more because he has so many like iconic songs. And this is kind of different than what you think of with Tom Petty because it's not as succinct. It's not as straightforward poppy. It's a little bit more, like you said, airy and like transporting. So it's interesting. So I think this era of Petty I need to dive into more, and just in general I need to kind of listen more than the surface level.
Yeah, this was the last single that he put out before he died, which is almost 10 years ago at this point, 2017. And I remember it was like, okay, Tom Petty died. No, wait, he's not dead, but he's in bad shape. Okay, now he's dead. And that's just the worst because it was like a multiple gut punch, but yeah, he's got a huge catalog to dive into, both studio albums and also box sets as well of unreleased stuff. So yeah. All right, Kevin, what is your next pick?
All right, so this next one I will preface by saying I guess it's a little debatable whether it could make this or not, but I chose it. Andrew allowed it. It is Louie Louie by the Kingsmen. The reason that I chose this one is because originally this is a cover song. It was originally recorded a few years earlier, and then the Kingsmen released it as a single. It took off as a single, and then they put it after it was the single took off. They it was popular enough where they did a full length record, and then they put it on the record. It's been on a lot of compilations. It's one of the most covered songs of all time. So I figured, hey, this is the quintessential single that kind of leads to everything else. Even though it was included on LPs later, I think that this kind of does some of the theme because it's one iconic song that was put out as a standalone and it transcended and it been in movies. Like I said, I think that this is this version is probably the reason why it's one of the most popular covered songs. This version is why. One of the bands that we'll talk about later covered it quite a bit when they were a band. So yeah, I just think, like I said, I think that it's kind of the quintessential single. I'm going to say this, and you're probably going to correct me, but as far as I know, nobody could really name any other Kingsman song. So there you go. Louie Louie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had to see the logic of your pick here because it did make the first album, but I think when the album exists as an extension of the single instead of the other way around, then I guess it works. But regardless, it's still one of the most important songs in music history. I talked about this a few episodes ago with Warren about You Really Got Me and how that's a foundational song for garage rock and proto-punk and all that. Here's another one. This song is so important to music history because of how raw and sloppy it sounds. Jack Ely, the singer, is slurring his words. He has to shout because the mic is too high. He comes in too early after the guitar solo. The drums are all calamitous. Like the band hated the take because of how poor it sounds, but it sold a whole lot of records and it inspired a whole lot of bands. So sometimes the unpolished gem shines brightest, Kevin.
And you can play it for like an hour straight. Like, actually. and bands did, which, again, we'll get to in a little while.
I also chuckled at reading about the album that grew out of this, The Kingsmen in Person. By the time they recorded the album, Jack Ely and Bob Nordby, the bass player, they had already quit the band. So they're only on Louie Louie. And they actually left before the song became a hit, too. There was a dispute with Lynn Easton, the drummer and co-founding member, because he wanted to be the front man, and he wanted Jack to be the drummer. So he was like, screw this, I'm out. And then the song became a hit, and Jack tried to get back in the band, and he couldn't. And there was a legal battle. It was a whole big thing. It's pretty wild. So
there you go. That's funny. That's funny lore that I didn't know about.
Yeah. All right. My next pick. This is a favorite of Case Lowe's. It's the Smiths, and I went with a song that was a B-side to a song called "William It Was Really Nothing," and it was put on the compilation album "Hatful of Hollow." But then it got some positive buzz and was put on the U.S. release and the reissue of their second album, Meat is Murder. This is How Soon Is Now.
The sun and the air of a shyness that is criminally vulgar. I am son and heir of nothing in particular. You shut your mouth, how can you say I go about things the wrong way?
So I've made it well known, my limited tolerance of Morrissey, but I have to hand it to Sad Boy Isis. This song is incredible. The first time I listened to it, and I heard that tremolo guitar effect, that ba-na-ba-ba-na-ba-ba-na-ba, and the ba-na, I was like, all right, I'm in, you got me. And similar to Move Like a Fever, it's very hypnotic and strange and alluring, while also being sort of minimal. I mean, there's only one verse, I am the sun in the air, etc. One chorus, you shut your mouth, how can you say, and one bridge. There's a club if you like to go, and they just repeat them. That's it. But it becomes this, iconic song that is, frequently cited as one of the best songs of the 80s and all time. And it started out as just a B-side. It's kind of wild, Kevin.
Yeah, when I was a kid, and by a kid I mean like late teens, early 20s, college years and stuff, I hated Morrissey. I hated the Smiths. I hated Morrissey. I hated the hero worship aspect to it. It kind of polluted everything for me. A lot of my friends were really obsessed with him, and I didn't understand it. Now, as a near 40-year-old man, Morrissey's got tracks. The Smiths got tracks. And I almost... This was on my short list of stuff to pick. I just went other directions, so I'm glad that you picked it. But this is a good song, a classic song. He's got a lot of really classic songs, and I just got a copy of Meat is Murder, like an early U.S. pressing of it. And yeah, not only is it's on there, it starts the B-side, but it's not listed on the back. So you get it, and then you put on the B-side, and it starts with How Soon Is Now, and I didn't even realize that it was going to be on there, and I had to keep looking like, is this normal? And then I looked it up, and I found out that, yeah, they're all like that. But it's just, I'm assuming they just put it on. They probably decided last minute that they needed to put it on after they had already printed the covers, and they're just like, this song needs to be on here.
That happens sometimes where, the covers are already done. You can't change it now. Yeah, but I think I read the reason that it was dumped as a B-side is because the record company didn't think it represented the Smiths' sound, which is true because it doesn't really. But that's maybe why I love it too. But yeah, it got popular on local radio shows, so they put it out as a single and on the reissues and whatnot, and it only got to 24 in the UK, so it didn't do amazingly. But again, it's built this huge legacy in spite of all that, which is pretty cool, Kevin. So.
Yeah, for sure. I think that this is probably the most well-known Smith song, I would say, or Morrissey song.
Mm-hmm. One of them, anyway, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin, what you got next?
I have next, by Title Fight, the song Western Haikus. Title Fight is a emo indie pop punk band from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. They were a band that I've seen many times, more than most bands that I've seen in my life, probably 20, 30 times, I would think, maybe more, somewhere around there. They are a band that I kind of saw the rise of them. They started as just playing little halls and stuff, and now they haven't played in a while. If they played now, they have 3 million Spotify listeners a month. They are just, they kind of turned into this mythical thing. But since I was there, I have a lot of real personal nostalgia type of memories. And this song came out. It's a B-side for, they did a few EPs and 7 inches and like splits and stuff. And then they put it out as a CD compilation. And this was kind of a B-side on that they put at the end, right before they started to do full lengths, which kind of catapulted them to the next level. So this song just kind of reminds me of seeing those shows, being in the especially the summertime, just like again, one that I was in my early 20s, so those real formative years, traveling all over the place with my friends, seeing this band play, and just this song kind of reminds me of that. And it's like, I don't know if it's necessarily the best song or most memorable song, but it's one where I hear the riff right away, and it just kind of transports me back to like seeing a show in a hall in the summertime with all my friends. And really, that's when it boils down to, that's what music is all about, just kind of unlocking those memories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was short, sweet, to the point, kind of like a haiku. Although I do have to scold them for not sticking to the haiku structure, because there are more than 3 lines and they don't follow the 5-7-5 rule. That's a demerit.
Well, it's not a normal haiku; it's a Western haiku, which can be bastardized and changed.
You got me. But no, this was good. I liked the drumming a lot in the closing section. I thought that was very good. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I've never heard of Title Fight before, but on a wrestling adjacent podcast, it's an appropriate name, Kevin.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. And I have done, speaking of Case, I did do a podcast with him one time about Title Fight. So it all comes full circle.
There you go. All right, my next pick. This is an Irish singer-songwriter. Her name is Tara Lee. And this is a single she put out about 10 years ago, I think, 2017 or so, somewhere around there. This one is called If I Burn, You Burn Too.
Sitting here in this dark room, think it's clear how we've come to. Said, well, are you happy now? I've got you, no one's around. Cry your eyes out, honey, cause all hope is lost. Got the secret in my pocket, fire a warning shot. I wanna see you beg, wanna see you grow. Tell me who's that pretty little face that you gonna call? He stares at me, I regret this fool. Said, baby, if I burn, you burn too. Bang, bang, shot him dead. I know what my baby did. Bang, bang, make him crawl. Let him up and watch him fall.
So that's probably the most obscure pick on my list. I mean, it's the only song of hers I know, but it's a non-album single, and it counts, damn it. I actually discovered it on this Irish detective show called Jack Taylor, starring Ian Glenn from Game of Thrones. This was the theme song for the third and final season, and I think it's an appropriate theme for a gritty crime show. It sounds all dark and brooding, with these, stabby bong noises, and she has these, very haunting vocals. The bang bang shot him dead refrain is fitting. It's actually how the song starts during the credits of the show. So yeah, this is kind of an out there pick of sorts, but I really like it a lot, Kevin.
I never heard this before. Now that you say that it's a theme of a TV show, I can easily see this being a theme of a TV show. It kind of just has that vibe. Yeah, she has a really nice voice. It sounds timeless, I guess, because I wouldn't necessarily think that it's that recent, but it also doesn't sound dated or anything. So, yeah, this was a good song. I don't know if it's like this style is really hard to connect with me. I think that you could tell from the stuff that my picks, but like I think that she got a good voice and it's a good song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's put out mostly singles. I think she has like one album, but the rest are all non-album singles. And she's an actress as well. She's been in a bunch of British and Irish shows. She was on EastEnders for a couple episodes. So yeah, she's busy. She's a busy lady, so that's pretty cool. But all right, Kevin, what's your next pick?
My next pick is "I Got It Right" by the Stooges. Sometimes I think that calling stuff like proto-punk or pre-punk or whatever is a little tired. Especially, we talk about the garage rock stuff and the Stooges and stuff. But then you hear a song like this and you're just like, how else can you really describe it, right? Like, it's kind of like Louie Louie in that way, where it just builds off of this riff. It's a really simple, it just got pretty much the same lines over and over. Anytime I got a right to move no matter what they say. Anytime I got a right to sing no matter what they say, and then I got a right to move anytime I want. That's pretty much the lyrics. But it's so snarling. The riff is a classic riff. I don't know, like, this isn't the most iconic Stooges song, I don't think, or the most popular one, but kind of it's kind of the one that almost sums them up the most. It's like almost like a mission statement of just like, I'm gonna do whatever I want, and here we are. We have this just loud, brash music. I don't want to necessarily like say that they're trying to do more than that than just be a rock band. You know, I don't think that they were trying to be like a punk band or anything. I think this is just what came out, and it's a classic song. Hardcore punk bands like Negative Approach, Poison Idea, they've covered this song. Some recorded. Negative Approach and their other band Easy Action, they cover this like every show still. So it's just a classic song. I have a copy of one of the singles. There's also like, we were talking before this where Andrew's like, I think I got the right version, because there's so many different versions of the song, different mixes of this song. It's been released so many different times. But yeah, it's just, again, I think that it sums up the theme perfectly, because like, when I personally think of the Stooges, that riff just starts playing in my head.
Yeah, this song is like a shotgun blast to the face, or an Iggy Pop fist, might be more appropriate to say. Because this was during the Raw Power era, when it was Iggy and the Stooges, and they were going in a harder direction, so that lines up. But it's also after Elektra Records dropped the Stooges, because they were fucked up on heroin. So, you know, Iggy going, anytime I want, I got a right to move, no matter what they say. The message is, you know, it's pretty clear, and doing it in a fast, loud, angry style just emphasizes that. So yeah, apparently we found the origin of hardcore punk music right here, Kevin.
It's one of them for sure, and it's funny too, because like I was reading about it, and it's not on Raw Power because the label said that the lyrics were too crazy, which is funny looking at them, because like I understand. But also, they are so, like...
tame by comparison.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I understand the idea of, like, I'm going to do whatever I want. Like, I get where that could be, like, crazy. But now, in the modern eyes, you're just, like... With some of the stuff that we hear these days, you're like, yeah, I got a right to move anytime I want. I was like, whoa, that's too much.
Oh, heavens. My word. Yeah, but you mentioned this earlier, the connection between Louie Louie and one of your other picks. Well, here you go. The Stooges played Louie Louie.
Oh, there you go. That's not even what I was thinking. So
oh, really?
There's another.
There's two of them.
So
okay, I was going to say that. I was going to say there's a live album called Metallic KO where they do a dirty version of Louie Louie. And that's the album where you can hear the crowd throwing things at the band because they're so riled up at them and angry, and Iggy's baiting them too, of course. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this other Louie Louie band going on.
We'll get to it soon, but that just kind of further proves my point earlier, I think.
Yeah, everyone did it. Everyone did that song. Yeah. All right, my next pick. This is a rare rap pick from your pal Andrew. It's also a song from a video game. It was in Madden 06. It's by Chamillionaire, or as I pronounced it when I first saw his name, Chamillionaire. It's also a bonus track on his album, The Sound of Revenge. This is Hate in Your Eyes.
See, for something you should expect, cause the rest will break their neck to be as good as the best. And it's obvious I'm the best, so I'm looking for less of the friends that just pretend I'm only looking for checks. Say hello to the villain. I would say it's nice to meet you, but it's not, so I don't pretend it is when I greet you. The same that run with you trying to beat you. So I chase money like the payment that's on your lease too. Give me that, give me that. Yeah, that is why the wallet fatter than the city rat. Feeling that till it's really, really fat. You hungry and trying to eat, trying to get your snacks. We ain't having that. Feeling me? Yeah, don't want drama, they ain't prepared, and I'm feeling they scared. Go tell them I said I'ma make a killing this year. Headed all the way to the top like ain't a ceiling in here. I keep going, baby. You love me or hate me, but I'm still gonna give my money. Envy and jealousy is all I see. Yeah, I can see the hate in your eyes. You can try, but you can't stop me. I keep it real, I keep it street. So tell everybody that don't like me that I can see the hate in your eyes. You ain't really like the aftertaste, so I'm back to put the music business back in place. Let's get back to trying to crack.
So yeah, it's perhaps an off-brand pick for me, but I can't lie, I really like this song a lot. I remember playing Madden back in the day and thinking, this is a real catchy tune here. I love the beat. I love singing along to the chorus. I could see the hate in your eyes. It's got some funny lines, too. They thought I'd fall apart like the Michael Jackson face, but I come in like gimme that and snatch the stakes. My wrist like a horror flick and make the white girl scream. Just funny lines there. And I think my favorite part is when Chamillionaire tries to sing, jealousy, jealousy, I can see you're jealous of me, but keep hating me. Like, God bless him for trying there. So yeah, this song, it's not on streaming. It's only on, I think, the physical release of the bonus CD for the album. But if you ever pick up Madden 06, it's on there too, Kevin.
It's funny to have a song on Madden and it's not even a single. Or like on an album, you know. I guess maybe they did it later, or maybe for it, and then they realized the song was so good or so popular or whatever, they had to put it out. But that is interesting. I mean, this sounds like a song that would be on Madden 06. If you didn't tell me this was on Madden 06, I would probably be able to tell you, yeah, that song's on Madden 06. It's funny, like, there are some lines. I find that this era of rap is like one that does not hold up at all. But that almost makes it hold up in a way where it's like almost so campy and ridiculous that it when you don't really take it seriously as like a thing that's coming out now, it's easier to like appreciate it. You know what I mean? So I think that's cool, and I'm glad that you picked at least a rap song too, because I did have one or two on my short list. I was thinking about doing a Who Shot Ya by Notorious B.I.G., but I did not actually pick that. So we need at least one rap song here.
I'm representing for sure. Well, the only other Chamillionaire song that I know is Ridin', which is his biggest song, of course, and I like that one a lot too. And yeah, I was looking him up because I don't really hear about Chamillionaire nowadays. I don't really know what he's doing, and I was stunned to find out he only has 2 solo albums, and the last one was 2007.
Huh.
He's got a few collaboration albums with Paul Wall, a few EPs, and a bunch of mixtapes, but yeah, just a couple solo albums. It's pretty weird. I guess he's like an entrepreneur, so he's doing like other stuff with that, but yeah, not much solo material from Chamillionaire.
Yeah, that you'd think that there'd be at least something there. That's curious.
But all right, Kevin, what's your next pick?
My next pick is Nervous Breakdown by Black Flag.
I'm about to have a nervous breakdown. My head really hurts. If I don't find a way out of here, I'm gonna go berserk 'cause I'm crazy and I'm hurt. Head on my shoulders, it's going berserk. I hear the same old talk, the same old lines. Don't tell me that today, if you know what's good for you, you'll get out of my way, 'cause I'm crazy and I'm hurt. Head on my shoulders, going berserk. I won't apologize for acting out of line.
To get it out of the way first, Black Flag is the one that has covered Louie Louie. That it's recorded. They played it live. Similar to what you said with the Stooges, they would just play it to antagonize people. They would play it over and over. They would play it for a really long time. Because I think what you're saying, it can fall apart. Anybody can play it. It's kind of it can kind of like ingrain itself into your brain. So I think that's why they would do it. But Nervous Breakdown is the first song on the first EP by Black Flag, who is, one of the trailblazing hardcore bands. This is not the first hardcore song. The first hardcore record is kind of attributed to the band Middle Class, but Black Flag is certainly one of the real important ones early. and they're one of the most influential bands of all time, even beyond music, doing DIY touring when nobody else would. Henry Rollins would eventually be the singer. He's not on this song, but he pretty iconic frontman there. And yeah, it starts with, again, I think with all these singles, I didn't necessarily do it on purpose, but I think that it just kind of is how the format works and everything. They just lead off with these iconic riffs that are very simple, but they get you just remember them immediately. And then the first line of the song, like, I'm on the verge of a nervous breakdown, my head really hurts. I mean, that's just kind of perfect. And yeah, it's a classic song. Black Flag is not my favorite band. I haven't gotten into them as much as other bands like that. I've tried throughout my entire life. I've just had a conversation with some of my friends recently where they were shaming me for only thinking that they're pretty good. But at the same time, Nervous Breakdown, I think it's one of those songs that everybody into hardcore punk knows, appreciates. Like, that the riff is just an iconic one.
Yeah, I always forget that Henry Rollins wasn't a founding member of Black Flag.
Nope. He was the fourth singer.
It's pre him joining. So yeah, it's Keith Morris on vocals here.
Yep.
And
Keith Morris went on to be in Circle Jerks, who is another iconic, another iconic early hardcore band that's still touring quite a bit these days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my two big thoughts were, one, Keith Morris sounds a whole lot like Johnny Rotten. They could be brothers. And two, for such a foundational band of hardcore punk, this is a lot nicer sounding than I thought it would be, if that makes sense. Like, it's more melodic than I expected. It's not just pure screaming. I mean, it does break down, no pun intended, towards the end there, when he's going crazy, crazy. But it stays on the track, so to speak, before that, Kevin.
Yeah, this song is more of like a, it's very early and foundational, so it's more of like a punk song that's kind of sped up, a little bit rougher. The stuff that would come later, as the singers would progress, with Rollins too, but I think the band was kind of going that way too. The songs would be more confrontational. The vocals, Rollins' vocals are angrier. The lyrics are more confrontational. Then, like, they kind of started to do very longer songs just to kind of antagonize people, and they kind of went a different direction towards the end. But in the very beginning, they're pretty, what now looks straightforward and catchy. Then it's definitely kind of its own. It's still confrontational then, even very early. There are a lot of famous shows of riots and all sorts of stuff going on when they would play.
Mm-hmm. And not only is Black Flag still going, 50 years later or so, there are two versions of the band out there. There's Black Flag with Greg Ginn, who's been like the main guy, throughout the whole thing. And then there's Flag, all caps like Kenta, with Keith Morris, Chuck Dukowski, Bill Stevenson, all the ex-members there. And all these guys are like in their 70s, by the way. It's pretty crazy. Like, they're old dudes now.
Yeah.
It's wild. So.
Especially now, I think they kind of, I haven't seen Circle Jerks, but I think they kind of melded it together where they just do Black Flag stuff at the Circle Jerks. But the Black Flag, now it's like Greg Ginn with like children.
Yeah, three teenagers pretty much. Yeah, it's three unknowns.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I actually saw what ended up being one of their last shows with Mike Vallely singing, which Mike Vallely is actually the longest tenured Black Flag singer, which is really weird to think about. Like, it makes sense, but it's also just weird. And it was not good. It was pretty bad, and you can understand why they were over it afterwards, and the entire band either quit or was fired or whatever, and now he's just got children. It's just very weird stuff, but classic band regardless, and especially with all these old hardcore bands, the reason why they're so good is that these people are insane. So there's always going to be a back end of that too. Like, there's the cool insane, but they're still just insane. So
Like wrestling.
Yes, exactly.
There are wrestlers who are amazing pro wrestlers, but they're crazy.
Yeah. And there were
They get
cool
dropped on their
times
head
they
for a
were-
living.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be nuts to do with this line of work. Yeah.
There were cool times when the wrestlers were crazy, where you're like, "Wow, he's crazy. It's cool." And then there's converse where it's like, "Yeah, Ric Flair in his 70s, like not that cool. Still crazy, not that cool."
All right, my next pick here. This is Brandon Flowers, lead singer of The Killers. He put out his second solo album, The Desired Effect, in 2015, but the title track is only available on the deluxe edition and Japanese edition of the album, and that's the song I picked. This is Brandon Flowers with The Desired Effect.
She was raised a Protestant, I was raised by wolves. Both of us saw dignity in pain, stretching out in paradise. It wasn't in the cards. See, neither of us were ready for the rain. Guess I was caught off guard when I heard the news last week. Ran into a friend of mine with the word on the street that the life that he chose to lead had the desired effect, that you hit the ground running the day that you left, that you played for every side, that you're gone for every kid. But I don't believe it, and I never will.
So, of all my picks, this is the one that annoys me the most that it's not on the album. For a couple of reasons. Number one, as a big fan of The Killers and Brandon Flowers' solo work, this is right up my alley. You got big choruses, you got background singers, you got his Vegas Springsteen lyrics about a boy and a girl from opposite, sides of the tracks and going out into the world and all this stuff. Like, this is what I want, baby. I love it. Let's go. And yet, it didn't make the cut. You can't find this song on streaming. You got to YouTube it. And the other thing is, it's the title track. Like, that's really bizarre to me, to leave that one off the album. But it really befuddles the rock, as they say. But if he didn't like it enough to put it on there, then I guess that's his prerogative, Kevin. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that he liked the title enough, but not the song. I do like, though. I don't know if I like it. I think it's cool, at least, like funny, when title tracks or songs that are called, like, that have the same name as a record aren't on the record. It's just kind of one of those, like, interesting things, like why. Like, there's a famous hardcore band called the Cro-Mags, and their most famous record is called Age of Quarrel. And there's no song called Age of Quarrel on it, but then on the next record, there's a song called Age of Quarrel. So, like, which I think is funny. But this song I never heard before. The Killers, I never go to them, but then when I listen, I'm like, okay, I like them. These are songs that, like, everybody knows and it's good. But this song, when I listened, I just was like, oh, it certainly is, like, you could tell it's a solo record of a guy in another band, right? Because it's trying to be more anthemic and a little bit more like stadium size type of music. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, he's got a new solo album coming out, I think, this month. It's like a country album, I think. So good timing on our part, I suppose. But you're right. I had the same thing in my notes about how it's weird when you have an album named for a song and that song isn't on the album. The examples that I went with, Sheer Heart Attack by Queen, there's the song that's on the other album, News of the World. Or Houses of the Holy by Led Zeppelin is not on Houses of the Holy, it's on Physical Graffiti. It feels weird that when there's that disconnect, I guess. But, it's one of life's peculiarities, I suppose, Kevin, so.
Yeah, for sure.
But all right, what's your next pick there, Kevin?
My next one is Jaked on Green Beers by Alkaline Trio.
The only thing that you ever really did for me is make me questionable. I hope this is goodbye. I hope this is goodbye. There was a time when I thought you were a friend of me. I think those times I was probably just drunk. If they offered a test about being a good friend, I'd put money down that you'd surely plug. The only thing that you ever really took from me were my records to sell them for dope. Now all I have left is this heart and my chest and my happiness helping me cope. I hope this is goodbye. I hope this is goodbye. I hope this is goodbye. I hope this is goodbye.
So the first concert that I ever went to when I was in 8th grade, or at least that I ever went to, like, that I wanted it to go to, maybe I went to some stuff with my parents, but the first thing I ever went to was Blink-182 headlined, Sum 41 opened. It was like the week before All Killer No Filler came out. And Alkaline Trio played in the middle. And I'd never heard them before, but I bought the CD. And I thought it was cool. Kind of put it away for a few months. Didn't really listen too much. Went to my friend's house. He pulled it out again. And he was like, is this good? I'm like, yeah, it's fine. And then we put it on. And I was like, oh my God, this band is incredible. And then from there, they became one of my favorites. And not too long after that, they put out this song on a compilation for the clothing brand Atticus. That was, I think, Blink-182's clothing brand or something. But they did a compilation CD, and this was on it. And I think that it's one of... They're a band that I've continued to like since then, and I think that this is one of their best songs. It's right in an era where they're kind of getting a little bit more polished. Like, their sound kind of is like this song, represented by this song, where it's a little, faster with still the catchiness, the poppiness there. But going forward, they get better production. He kind of sang a little bit better. His voice also kind of got a little destroyed, which you can hear on this song. I think that he had a lot of vocal problems over the next year or two after this. And this is a song like right before they recorded a record, Good Morning, which ended up being one of their kind of breakthrough records, was right after this. And this song, I like that record, but this song I think is better than every song that's on there. So it's kind of funny where you have these songs that come out and you're just like, it's almost the logic of like why this was the throwaway song and why the other ones weren't, but it just kind of is what it is, and it makes this interesting thing. They put out a B-sides record later, and this is on it, and they actually have a decent amount of really good B-sides, but this is my I think this might be my favorite song by them. If it's not my favorite song, it's one of my top like 3 or 5 favorite songs by them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you gave me your list, I thought this was a typo at first. I thought it was supposed to be Jacked on Green Beers.
Yeah.
But
I never
no,
know if it's jaked or jacked. In my head, I say jacked, but I think it's jaked. I don't know.
Well, I looked it up on Urban Dictionary, and jaked means completely and totally fucked up off alcohol beyond all recognition. But it also means to be deserted, blown off, or otherwise ignored by a close friend. And that second one is what the song is all about.
And the
it's
first one,
guy...
I think it's got a double meaning on this because I think it applies to both
True.
things.
True. But the second one more so, I think, because it's about a guy telling someone to screw off because they weren't being a good friend. The only thing that you ever really did for me was make me oh so miserable. And the hope that I never see your face again is anything but questionable. There was a time when I thought you were a friend to me. I think those times I was probably just drunk. And if they offered a test about being a good friend, I'd put money down that you'd surely flunk. So, yeah, not a typo. I stand corrected, Kevin.
And there you go. The title is Jaked on Green Beers, so absolutely fucked up on green beers.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. My next pick, this is another video game song. This one is from Guitar Hero 2. And in the pantheon of guitar players who wear KFC buckets on their head, this man stands above the rest. This is, of course, Buckethead with Jordan. So I remember playing this song in Guitar Hero 2, and it starts, I'm like, oh, this isn't so bad, because it had this rep of being, this super hard song. It was like the proto Through the Fire and Flames. And I was like, okay, I'm doing okay so far. This is fine. And then the crazy solo section kicks in, and my fingers turn to mush. And I'm like, oh, okay, now I get it. Because it really is just a non-stop onslaught of notes that I can't wrap my head around playing at all. But when you watch Buckethead play this song live, he's just doing it effortlessly. It's crazy. And it's funny, the song is named after Michael Jordan, because he's a big fan of Michael Jordan. And when you watch Jordan play, or LeBron, or Steph, or whatever, they make it look easy. Even though it's not easy. Same goes for Buckethead. It takes a lot of skill to do this, and he's just doing it, like it's nothing, Kevin. It's crazy.
Buckethead is such an anomaly to me. It's so intriguing because I don't understand. Talent-wise, he's unbelievable, but he has a million records, right? Of just him shredding, and
it's a lot.
Yeah. Weird. And he's wearing a Michael Myers hat, wearing a KFC bucket on his head. He's still touring, I think, right? And I don't know how well he does, but still enough to tour. And it's just so, the whole thing is just bizarre to me, where I don't know if I like it, but I respect it just for literally doing whatever you want, using it to get into Guns N' Roses, and then using that to just kind of catapult whatever your weird solo vision is. I don't understand it, but I gotta respect it.
Yeah, he just put out, I think, an album with Bootsy Collins. And they've worked together a bunch over the years, too. So, yeah, you look up, his discography page on Wikipedia, it's like a mile long. It's crazy. He's done so many things, so many releases, and yeah, it's endless. Yeah, but that's Buckethead, man. As you said, he's an anomaly. And I've never really been a big fan of, the instrumental guitarist virtuoso guy on their own. I like individual songs by him and Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, Yngwie Malmsteen, and all those guys. I really respect what they do, and I am in awe of their talent, but I prefer having them in the context of a full band, like Eddie Van Halen was, or Slash, or whatever. Speaking of Guns N' Roses, that's my preferred avenue for those guys to be in, I guess, Kevin.
Yeah, I would agree. I think a shredder is way better in the context of a band than a instrumental kind of around them.
Mm-hmm. All right, Kevin, what is your second to last pick here?
My next song is the demo version of The Chain by Fleetwood Mac.
And even as I search for you, I knew that even if I found you, you'd be so cold. But even when I found you now, baby, I knew that I had gone about as far as I could go. And if you don't love me now, you will never love me again. I can still hear you say you will never break the chain. I can still hear you say that if you don't love me now.
This was actually the first song that I thought of when I was asked to do this and given the prompt, because yes, The Chain is a very popular song by Fleetwood Mac, but this is completely different than what you know of the Chain, to where it's you can barely tell that it's the same song at all. The normal one is very catchy. It's got the full band. got the big chorus, whereas this is just Stevie Nicks and acoustic guitar, and that's why, you know, what I've thought of like B-sides or unreleased things or whatever. This is kind of the perfect song for this, because I don't really know how many, like, it's Fleetwood Mac, so it's not super obscure, but I found this because I was just listening to I used to drive around listening to the boring indie station on Sirius XM like a decade ago, and Jason Schwartzman had a show, and he let off his show, I think. If not let off, he played the song in the middle, and I'd never heard it before, and I was just kind of blown away because it's just so stark, so emotional, really vulnerable, and I think that it's just like, it's a pretty incredible song. I think it's kind of unlike anything else that I picked, but like I said, I think it was the first thing that I thought of, because it's really one of my favorite things. Where I like Fleetwood Mac, I think that they're a really good pop band, but this is completely different than anything else by them, and I think it's really just really good.
Yeah, when I saw this on your list, my first thought was, you know, Chappelle's Show. Now wait a goddamn minute, Rondell, because it's weird to have a demo for a song that did make the album. But then I listened to it, and yeah, it's almost an entirely different song. Obviously musically, because it's a demo, and they're working it out, you know, with an acoustic guitar there. But lyrically as well, you know, with the exception of the chorus, the verses are all different. But it's still a pretty devastating song about Lindsay and Stevie's breakup. Even as I searched for you, I knew. Even if I found you, you'd be so cold. Even when I found you now, baby, I knew that I'd gone about as far as I could go. I don't mean to beg, but I don't know what else to say. If you meant what you said, you'd have been here yesterday. Like, it's pretty bleak, and I'm glad the version of The Chain on Rumors is what we got, because I love that song. But if this version, or maybe, you know, a fuller version of this with the band is what made it on, I think it still would have fit the overall theme of the album, Kevin.
Yeah, and you know, it might become an iconic song like this, you know, too. Just a completely different type of iconic, you know what I mean? Like, it's pretty devastating, so I could see it, like, if people heard it being like, oh man, this is like, it's heart-wrenching, but it's incredible too.
Mm-hmm. And apparently this song was almost left off the album entirely because it took so long to come together. Which makes me think, you know, if they did leave it off, like, would Silver Springs have made it onto the album after all? You know, because there would have been room at least. So yeah, a fun thing to think about there. But all right, my second to last pick here. This is an English DJ. His real name is Peter O'Grady, but he goes by Joy Orbison. And this is his single called Hyph Mungo. HYPHMNGO. So, learned scholars remember that this was one of Zack Sabre Jr.'s themes back in the day, mainly back when he was in Evolve, and he cut out the intro when he used it, which is a smart idea because the intro is very long and demure, and the song doesn't really get going until the bwah, bwah starts. But theme or not, I love the song, I love the beat. I love the way it samples Love Will Never Do by Janet Jackson because it makes it sound like she can't stop sneezing. Achoo! Achoo! ooh a choo, ooh a choo. It's like get her a Kleenex for God's sake. But jokes aside, this is a real bop, Kevin.
Okay, I knew that I knew this song, and I was trying to think about it, and I was like, did something else sample this? Like, what is the deal? And now you saying that it was Zack Sabre Jr.'s theme song, that makes sense. But I like this. I like this kind of like late 2000s, early 2010s, like British house, whatever it is. Like I never really dove into too much or put on, but like I like it when I listen to it. Like I think that it's pretty cool. So I'm not going to say that I'm going to explore it more because I don't know if I actually will. But like when I hear this type of stuff, I like it and like I see the validity. Which a lot of like electronic music I really don't like. A lot of like not saying this is techno, but like a lot of that stuff I don't really like at all. But this is one type that I do actually I can appreciate and respect.
Yeah, I wanted to pick at least one DJ song because it is kind of cheating to do that because I feel like a lot of them don't really focus on albums all too much. They just put the songs out as they come as singles, which I totally get because it's a lot easier to do that, to just put a song out there than have to wait for an entire album to come together, especially nowadays with the internet and all that. It's very convenient to just put something out there right away. So
yeah, I thought there were some, like, especially some newer rap songs that I thought about of, like, that it didn't make my cut anyway, but that I thought about where it's like, this song came out as a single, it was put on a record later, but, like, I don't know, the song as a single just by itself was what took off. Like, Old Town Road I thought about, but I was just like, I won't. But, like, that came out as the single, and then it became the biggest thing in the world, and then they had to put it on the record,
Mm-hmm. Well, you made me think one of the biggest songs in recent history, Not Like Us.
Oh, yeah, that was one too. I had that on my show.
Not on an album.
Yeah.
Single only, yeah.
Yeah, they put it on the album, but, like, that's not why you don't think of it really as that. It took off by itself, and then it was so big they had to put it on.
All right, Kevin, what is your last pick of the episode here?
Love Will Tear Us Apart by Joy Division. So I said that the Fleetwood Mac was the first thing I thought of, which I think it was. But the other first thing that I thought of was that the quintessential singles band is Joy Division / New Order. There's so many iconic New Order singles, and I could have chosen a few different songs here and had a few different New Order songs, but I figured that I would just leave it to just one from the general group, and I think that Love Will Tear Us Apart is I think it's the most iconic of all of them. I think that it's kind of like probably the most iconic Joy Division song. I think that it was the last one that was released before Ian Curtis died. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I believe that it was. And it's, I don't know, it's just a perfect song. It's kind of feels a little uplifting from a band that's really known for the opposite of that. And it's an all-timer. I put it last for a reason, too, because I think that it's kind of the perfect song to end with. Like I said, when you talk about singles, I think that this is one of the most famous, iconic, important, whatever you want to say, songs of all time. It kind of led to an entire genre, and it's kind of boils down such an important landmark band like Joy Division.
Yeah, back-to-back joys here. I didn't even plan on that. Orbison and Division there. Yeah, you're ending your list with some real downers here, man. First the Chain and now this song. Like, there's a strong current running through this song with the energy and the beat and all that, but still, it's about a broken relationship between Ian Curtis and his wife because he cheated on her, and the lyrics are sad. It came out a month after he killed himself, and it also became their signature song too. So similar to How Soon Is Now, it's considered one of the best songs of all time, but he wasn't around to see that and take advantage of that. So it's a real cruel twist of fate, I guess, Kevin.
Yeah. And now you can see how I format my playlists and mixtapes and all that stuff. You can see how they go. But it's a sad song, but it's kind of a it's sad all around, but it's just kind of this. Like I said, the melody is kind of just this bittersweet thing where it's like, it's longing and missing something, but it's also weirdly content sounding and like almost, I don't know, uplifting, but it's just kind of this nice, beautiful thing with these sad, morose lyrics.
Well, you picking this song reminded me, and I was kicking myself so hard because I didn't think of it, but neither of us picked Blue Monday by New Order.
Yeah,
because
Blue
as
Monday
far
was...
as as far as non-album singles go, that is a supernova of a song.
Yeah.
It's the highest selling 12-inch of all time, and we only have it because Ian killed himself,
right,
and Joy Division became New Order. So there's another timeline out there where Ian lives and Blue Monday never comes to be. It's kind of crazy to think about that, I guess.
Yeah, and that was Blue Monday was actually the first New Order song that I thought of for this. You're right, it's the most obvious one, and I was gonna choose it, but then, like I said, I didn't want to go. I only chose one from the general group, even though I could have done New Order and Joy Division, but I decided just for one, and I think that Love Will Tear Us Apart is the one. But Blue Monday is another iconic song, and I think too, to agree with you, it's so iconic that you kind of forget that it's not on a record sometimes.
Yeah. All right, my last pick here. I'm going to go back to the 90s here with the KLF. And they had a song called What Time Is Love that they remade a few times. And this is the version that I went with here. It's called America, What Time Is Love. So I know I've described some of my picks as minimal. This is not that. This is maximal. There is so much going on in this song. We got hip-hop. We got techno. We got a sample of Ace of Spades by Motorhead. We got Glenn Hughes screaming his head off. What time is love? We got Jock Jams-esque, I want to see you sweat. We have weird monk chants. Oh, we... It's like everything but the kitchen sink was put into this thing, and I think it's straight up awesome. It never fails to get me hyped up. The music video is also crazy because it takes place on this like Viking ship during a storm on its way to America, and the band is playing, and there's rain and wind and waves, and There's a shirtless one with like tape over her nipples, rocking out. It's wild. It's wild stuff. And I couldn't pick another song to end my list. I had to go with this one, Kevin.
How much do you know about the KLF?
From what I've read, they were an interesting group of guys. Because they were not a big fan of, the commercialism machine of music. They, burned $1 million famously. They also retired pretty much at the height of their powers and just went away. So yeah, just very interesting guys for sure.
Yeah, there's all this hidden messages stuff. There's a lot of it's kind of like an art thing. The maximalism is kind of on purpose as like a social critique. Like all the videos are like that. That the retiring from music, like you said, they went on, I think, the British Music Awards with Extreme Noise Terror, who's like a grind band, and they basically like shot off blank shotguns, played
over the crowd,
or machine guns, I should say, and like played a grind version of the song, and then just on the loudspeaker said the KLF have retired from music, and then dropped a dead sheep at the post award show party, just all sorts of crazy stuff that is pretty interesting to look into. So the music wise, I think that there's not much music that holds up less than this kind of early 90s house stuff with the rapping and stuff. I don't think it really holds up. But as far as the messages and all this hidden stuff and all this extra stuff around them, I think that it's really cool and really interesting and kind of weirdly influential. A lot of bands I think have looked at how the KLF presented themselves and all the subversiveness and all the mixed hidden messages and stuff, and I think that they have kind of set out to do kind of similar things within their own genres. Fucked Up is one that's kind of like that, where in the beginning they kind of had a lot of mystery and were putting out red herrings and all this different stuff of basically lying to people, and a lot of that was influenced by the KLF. So there's a documentary that I try to look up. When you brought this up, I'm I want to see the documentary, and it's not streaming anywhere that I could find, which I'm sure is on purpose. So I gotta look into it and find it.
Yeah, all that, justified Ancients of Moo stuff, that's all kind of over my head. And I'm someone who likes a few lore bands like Ghost and Gorillaz and all that stuff, but I haven't really dug into the lore of KLF. I didn't even know who they were until last year when Fred Moreland played them on the show. He played the song Justified and Ancient with Timmy Wynette, and I fell in love with that song. And similar to that song and how it helped bring Timmy back to prominence, this song helped Glenn Hughes rejuvenate his career, because he was in a kind of a bad way. He was on drugs or whatever, and this kind of helped him get back on top there, freshly sober. So afterwards, the KLF started getting hit up by all these old music stars looking to get a bit of that magic there, and apparently that was one of the reasons why they quit music, because they didn't want to go down that road.
Yeah, because that's completely different than what they're the mission statement. That completely goes against it, really.
Yeah. But love the song. Even if you don't, Kevin. No, I'm kidding.
I think the
I'm
KLF
kidding.
is so cool. So it doesn't really matter that I don't like it. I think that them as an entity is very interesting. So I actually thought it was really cool that you picked them.
For sure. Well, all right. Well, that was the episode. Those were our picks. And, these songs may not have been booked, but they're still in shape. They're still jumping on the trampoline with the weights. And I Want You There. It's my last album. I Want You There. It's my last album there. But, Kevin, thank you so much for being here. This was a lot of fun as always, man. Thanks so much.
Yeah, of course. I appreciate you having me on because, it's different than... I think we come from different places for music, but we kind of have a common ground on stuff, and I think that it's interesting to talk to each other because, like I said, we're coming from completely different places, but I think we can relate to each other there. And one quick plug, if you want to hear me talk more about music, I am on the 185 Mile South podcast pretty much every episode, which we put out new episodes every week, and then another episode, every other week, and then behind the we have a Patreon as well, and I'm on most of the episodes. So if you thought it was interesting stuff I was talking about here, check me out there. 185 miles south.
Okay. Any other plugs at all, or is that pretty much it?
Oh, the one other plug I got is Wrestling 101 is it's done. It's just it's with the website the Mastermind to just get it done. So at some point that will all be up. So check out voicesofwrestling.com. I think the actual website might not exist right now, but it'll be on Voices of Wrestling at some point. It's done. We did the top. We did not top 100, but 101 wrestling matches. Me and Robin Reed, just 101 wrestling matches that we think any wrestling fan should see. And like I said, we paused for a while, but it's all done. It's in the can. It's gonna be out whenever it's out. So keep an eye on that soon.
Mm-hmm. And I've done a few of the write-ups, by the way, for the series. So if you want to read my thoughts about Great Muta versus Hiroshi Hase, which gave us the Muta scale, or Kobashi and Kikuchi versus the Can-Ams, that famous match, that's there in the archives. So yeah, Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network, all the great shows on there. Voicesofwrestling.com, Blue Sky at Music of the Mat, and at Just Andrew on Blue Sky. If you want to leave a comment about this episode, share your picks. voicesofwrestling.com/Discord. It's also where I post the Spotify playlist for each episode. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the show on Apple, Spotify, or your player of choice, and leave a nice rating and review. Alright, so the play-out song for today, I'm going to go back all the way to 1964 for the second ever single released by The Who, and the first one released under their own name, The Who. It was months before their first album, too. This is a great song. It's a classic. This is I Can't Explain. Thanks again, Kevin.
Thanks for having me. Peace.
I feel inside, can't explain, a certain kind, can't explain. I feel hot and cold, can't explain. Lay down my soul, yeah, can't explain. I said, can't explain. I'm feeling good now, yeah, but can't explain. Dizzy in the head now, feeling blue. Things you said, well maybe they're true. I'm getting funny dreams again and again. I know what it means, but can't explain. I think it's love trying to say it to you when I feel blue, but can't explain. Can't explain. Yeah, hear what I say, girl. Can't explain.
Music of the Mat is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. The songs used throughout this show are property of their respective copyright holders.
Hey everybody, my name is Jesse Collins, and I am the host of the Gentleman's Wrestling Podcast, a show right here on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. On the Gentleman's Wrestling Podcast, we take a deep look at individual issues and stories that are going on in the wrestling world. Each episode is about a different topic, and we take a thorough and educated look at things ranging from current booking trends to breakdowns on individual performers and angles to investigations into different fan cultures across the industry. In addition, we keep a close eye on the wrestling media, and as a professional journalist, I bring a unique perspective to how current issues in wrestling are being covered and discussed through the wrestling media. We have a revolving series of guests from across wrestling punditry joining us on each episode, and we hope that you make the choice to give us a listen on wherever you get your podcast from.